They're trying to be extra. How's it going, Sha?
Oh, just fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Enjoying my day right now.
hmm
Um, I am. I'm realizing that I've been a little forgetful about how dope our fans are. You know that I've been. And whenever I upload the episode, like every week, I try to do like a little bit extra to like continue to improve what we do with the podcast.
hmm
Um, so the last like 2 weeks, I've been adding poll questions to the episodes and forgetting about them, but they're there. So like I'm like, yeah, we gotta add polls. That sounds cool, but like I forgot the other part of like addressing the poll. So there've been some poll questions.
Okay, so let's get to it because I don't even know if I know what the poll questions are.
Oh, I know you don't know because I didn't know until I was uploading and I was gonna do poll questions each time. So these are
Oh, okay. Oh, so this is
yeah.
just a Gastor exclusive.
So Gastor and some very attentive Spotify fans realize.
Okay.
So okay, let's see. Just go through these with you. At the last bonus episode, we
hmm
had a little convo about Yeezys. So I put up a
Yes.
poll question: who would win in a race? Gastor in an uncomfortable pair of Yeezy sneakers while
hmm
carrying 10 pairs of his Tims, or
Okay. Uh huh.
Shalewa in her chosen Saucony kicks,
hmm
but carrying 10 pairs of Yeezys.
Oh, I'm gonna. Well, I don't know. Wait, are you fast or you just think you're fast?
I'm fast in a sprint, but I don't got distance, no. Like a
Okay.
40, I'm surprisingly fast.
Okay. All right. Uh huh. Okay, but you don't have
But we
distance.
got
And
we got weight,
how long are we? Oh, right. Yeah, you do have weight. Sure. So how long are
like
we running? It's a quick sprint that
I
we're
would say a
doing.
40, but you gotta account for the content. I would assume the boxes of Tim's are heavier and bigger than the boxes of Yeezys. And
Mhm.
you have I have the advantage of having carried 10 boxes of Tim's,
Mhm.
but you have the advantage of being in footwear you wear regularly.
That are actually running shoes.
Yeah, I'm in Yeezys.
Okay, you're in Yeezys, which I'm not sure what those are for. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to
don't know
say
either.
I I'm going to say I will win
Yeah.
um because you were going to be carrying boxes of Tim's and I'm going to take this Yeezys out of the boxes and I'm just
Strategy.
gonna knot them together and then carry them like a bag, like a tote bag.
Oh, that's fair. You trying to win the race? I'm thinking of resale value. You
Yeah,
right.
I don't care no Tim. The thing is, yeah, I don't care about no Tims. People, they're two pairs of shoes that people will buy no matter what. You know what I mean? As long as you're not talking about the people who are trying to put them on ice or collect them, you know. But people who are just like, yeah, I'll get some cheap Yeezys because some woman ran with them on a in a parking lot somewhere. So yeah, no, absolutely, I'm going to win that one.
You are in agreement with the community, by the way. 63%
hmm
of voters says Shalewa will beat Gastor in this race. So well done. Well done. Let's see. Poll number 2.
hmm
This is from our last week's full episode, the Mid Snack, episode 79. The poll question was: before starting work, do you get
hmm
thirsty like Gastor or need a snack like Shalewa? You can tell
Oh
I upload these
boy.
episodes at like 4 in the morning. These are
Yep.
just
Uh huh.
random thoughts that come up to me.
Uh huh. What? How did that turn out? How do
This
people? Did
poll,
they? Uh huh.
so I put the two answers I put were forever drinking like Gastor or always
Mhm.
packing snacks like Sha. And
Mhm.
once again, the people are on your side, Sha. 63% again voted in Sha's favor. I feel like you rigging these polls that you didn't know about, you
I
know?
guess I am. I know people love a snack. People
Yo.
love a snack. They do.
Yeah, but like you don't I feel like people get thirsty.
Oh,
No?
people get
Wow.
thirsty. Well, the thing is, people get thirsty, and more often than not, they've got something on them to drink, or there is some place where you can get something to. You know what I mean? Like it's not odd to see people carrying around some sort of water bottle or Gatorade, that kind of thing. But what people forget is occasionally they're actually a little hungry,
Mm, okay.
and no one has a snack on them, but I do. I usually have a Trader Joe's cereal bar in my bag.
Shy ready.
Mhm.
Snacks. Ultimate on
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got one more poll question here I forgot from the week prior's Slap Happy episode 78, where Shalewa and
Mhm.
I talked about one thing.
One thing
This
only.
is my favorite question. Uh, would you prefer to be smacked on the left side of your face or the right side of your face? It's right. Strong side, left side,
Mm.
or right side is the right side. It speaks for itself. Those are the two answers.
Interesting. What would you prefer?
Um, so I gave this a little bit of thought. Like it was
Uh-huh.
I had to think it through to make sure I'm saying it right. My
Mhm.
right side is the one I would want to get slapped because I feel like my left side is the side that I think is my best looking side based on that like weird TikTok filter that it
Oh,
does
there's
the
a
two.
filter that oh, that
Yeah,
does
there's
the
a filter that
symmetrical
like gives
thing.
you it gives you two left sides of your face symmetrically
Mhm.
and two right sides. And I feel like the left side is the side that looks the best for me.
Wow. Man, okay, first of all, that's, a little troubling because, in my day, we did not have TikTok, we just had to stare at ourselves in the mirror and figure out what the better side was.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, yeah, huh, I think well, that's tough because for me, my left side of my face is also the better side of my face, but I've already
Right.
covered it up with dreadlocks. So,
Mm.
which I did that because the way my hair parts, the cut made sense for my head, but not for my face. So I just had to do what I had to do with it, if that makes any sense. That's my natural part, but I'm talking about the long part. It covers the better part of my face. Whatever. That's the one thing. But I have teeth missing on my left side. So if you were to hit me on my left side, I wouldn't bite down on my cheek as hard because there's hardly any teeth.
Oh, strategy.
Yeah, that's how I'm thinking.
That's kind of ill,
So
actually.
I probably would say left side. Go ahead and hit me on the left side.
Well, Sha, the people are with you, not with me. 75% of voters said left side.
Wow. Well, that's wild because really, well, I mean, really, we should say, well, wait, if it's the left side, it's going to be their right hand, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of that now too. Wouldn't you want the right? You're
Yeah,
gonna be get more lefts.
you would think. Yeah, exactly. You would think. But I don't know. Maybe we all look better from the left.
There you go. I mean, unless you're like trying to avoid backhands,
Mm, mm.
right? Backhands will still be right hand on
Backhands
right
feel a
side.
little, honestly, with a slap, a backhand feels very like it would be effective and kind of surprising, but it also seems like you could lose the thread very easily on that. Like maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe actually a backhand to me feels like I connect better with a backhand than with a palm. But I
Yeah.
also know that I play field hockey left-handed. And it's the same to me. That's why I feel like it's a thing that normally I should be able to connect with my palm, but I'd probably be too emotional. Whereas my backhand, I feel like I would get you better.
uh
Hmm.
yeah, I
I don't
feel like
know.
either way I'm hitting the left side of your face strongest because either I'm hitting
Mhm.
you with my right hand open palm, or if I'm
Mhm.
backhanding you, I'd rather do the baseball swing motion. And as a right-handed hitter, I'm used to
Mhm.
backhanding with my left hand.
Oh, interesting.
So either way, I'm coming for the
Oh.
same side of your face.
So just know that, everybody.
Yeah, you know what I mean. If we doing slaps, one cheek is gonna be real sore on you.
This is actually very important to know.
Hell
This is
yeah.
very important information. This is.
There you go. I'm glad. But yeah, thank you so much for answering the polls. You have settled random thoughts that I had at 3 a.m. when I'm editing podcasts. As me. Oh man, this is the nonsense that goes through my mind when I'm left alone at the computer with a bunch of McDonald's like iced coffee. You know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't worse.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I thought
surprised
I
the
was
poll
pretty.
question. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
surprised the
they're even
questions
like
weren't
on
like,
theme.
am I going to make it? Yes or
Yeah, I
no.
was looking at both. I was like, oh, like they actually fit the theme of the episodes. I'm good.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I'm a professional, Shy. You know, I'm out here. Let's get into the news.
Okay.
Ti talks about getting booed during a comedy show in Brooklyn. That's right. Clifford T.I. Harris is making the transition from hip hop artist to stand-up comedian. This is way more hope than any other article is giving them. You could tell this is from a hip hop website. Uh, T.I. has faced backlash from veteran comics, including Godfrey, for trying to enter their world. On April 9th, Tip faced a negative response from a live audience. Do tell. According to reports, the crowd inside Brooklyn's Barclays Center booed the Paper Trail album creators set at the April Fool's Comedy Jam. All Hip Hop caught up with T.I. following his first comedy show in Brooklyn. The 41-year-old Grammy Award winner talked about the experience of being jeered by paying onlookers. It's a different piece of adversity that I have been approached with overcoming, said Tip, and I enjoyed myself so much. I want some more. If they'll let me go out there again, I'd go out there right now. He added, when shit's too easy and there ain't no challenge to it, I don't care. That's what got me out of music because it's almost like people expect me to be good. LD, expect him to be
Okay.
bad. He would still be making songs, people, okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
I embraced
Mm.
the hate, T.I. declared, but it wasn't even hate. It was on some, this is our opportunity to really make you one of us. And I appreciate that. I ain't got no problem with that. I love the opportunity to overcome and scramble, said T.I.
Mm.
So
Okay.
he
Well,
thinks that
yeah.
the borough of Brooklyn was welcoming him as a comedian.
Into yeah, uh-huh. Yeah,
This
yeah.
was like his like, onboarding, like he was going through like the what do they call that when like you join a frat
Oh,
and
that
you
he was
gotta
being
go
hazed.
he's being
Yeah,
hazed.
he was being
Yeah, this
hazed.
is like the hazing
And
he's going through to join the frat.
and I mean, part of that is I understand how he gets there to, oh, this is a hazing. Um but um I think one way he will be hazed for a long time, perhaps, if he doesn't figure out how to write a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's you got to figure out how to write jokes. Um and I mean, maybe he will figure it out and they just won't be good jokes. And we have to accept that. We keep telling people to work on your craft and we keep thinking that, that's what's wrong is that they're not writing the right jokes. What if he actually is toiling and this is what he's coming up with? Well, then I guess the nigga just can't write jokes. What are we going to do about that? I mean,
If
oopsie.
you'll be.
Yeah. But it may be for other you know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm like, well, there are plenty of comics who I don't think are funny. So maybe
And
we
they
just
winning.
throw Ti. Yeah, and I'll just throw him over on that stack, I guess.
Like I
But
secretly hope that like Ti like gets really good at writing jokes, but not in his own voice. Like I love the idea of like, yo, you heard Ti got hired by Fallon, and like he does opening monologue jokes. I don't know why. I just find that awesome.
that would be very funny if that was a hidden talent he had. But I don't see that happening. I mean, honestly, like I he I just I don't know. I don't think I want him in my orbit anyway, just because he seems like not a great person. And so I'm like, if it turns out that you write bad jokes, then I guess it turns out you write bad jokes. But if you're able to keep doing it and people start laughing at your bad jokes, and so be it, that's one thing. I
Yeah.
am and probably will be just kind of not caught on, but just kind of it'll keep in the back of my head like, hey, bruh, you a little thin skinned to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can't, because the whole thing with Godfrey, I don't even think we discussed, but he Godfrey did a show in Atlanta and he was headlining, and then after he finished, they put Ti up after him. And that's
Madness.
like, what? That's not even how that works.
At
So
all.
I at all. So like they've since squashed whatever their beef was, and Ti came on Godfrey's podcast and they discussed it, and it was a whole lot of I'm just trying to get like you, brother, which is drives me insane because Godfrey had a point. There's a way that shows are scheduled, or the way
Mm-hmm.
they're laid out. Why would you put up someone who has only been doing it like a month or so after somebody who just headlined people they paid to see this person? He crushed it. And then you send up someone else who is just a celebrity in another way to go up after you and suck all your work out of the room by just being in there and attempting it. That's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you can't be understanding about all the shit. So I thought Godfrey had a point when I realized that's what his issue was. I was like, yeah, why would you put that on? And it's because Ti knew the owner of the place, but so I mean,
Hey, that's not enough reason.
yeah, I know. I know the owner of a nightclub. Does that mean when I walk in, they got to play what I want to hear? Oh,
Seriously.
like that's not how that works.
This is
So
crazy.
yeah, I mean, whatever. Ti, he's back. I just saw a clip the other day. He's back at the place where he yelled at the woman. He went back to her mic. He went back to her mic this week
Wow.
and told whatever joke he was telling, and then he's like, that's my time. I'm gonna go. And then he turned and he was like, "Was that long? Did I do long enough, Miss Lauren?" And
Oh
I was
my
like, "See, you
God.
still acting like a little bitch. Like you
Mm-hmm.
still you trying to do the right thing, and you still can't do it right. Whatever,
You want
man.
you
I don't
Yeah,
know.
like this is the like the type of dude that wants credit for doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly,
Like that's just
exactly.
yeah.
So
You want
I'm
us
not,
to
and I
acknowledge the fact that you did the rule that everyone else in the community follows, like sticking to the light.
yeah. So
You
I'm not.
knucklehead.
There's so many crappy people, and he's just going to keep doing it and whatever. He's not even. Look, I can't. I started in Atlanta. There were wrestlers. There were wrestlers, retired wrestlers who did comedy, full on did comedy. So I'm like,
Oh
great,
yeah.
you're great, fantastic. Take Ti with you. I would have liked to have seen what it was like when he got booed by the Barclay Center, which is a basketball arena, everybody,
That is Diesel.
and then had to go backstage. I hope that toughened him up a little bit because yikes. And
Yo.
also, I will say, when the booze started, he said, a phrase that is just so particularly Atlantan, even though anyone could say it, it was just in his inflection and everything. He just
Yeah.
said, "Well, goddamn," and that is. And if you've spent a formative amount of time in Atlanta, that is how you. That is how you deal with anything like just shitty coming at you. Like, well, goddamn. And the way he said it made me laugh so hard. It was much funnier than what he was saying before that. The way he said it, I was just like, yup, yup.
There you
That's
go, Ti.
exactly what it gets.
Shalewa just
So
found your comedic voice. Okay,
yeah,
channel that in.
and
Okay.
being shat on and then being surprised, and that's anyone who goes up in Atlanta. So yeah, just keep working it out.
There
Keep
you
working it
go.
out, brother. You got, you got time.
There
I
you
know what
go.
it's like to start comedy late in life. You 41 years old, you trying
You
to feel
good.
it out. I started at 37. Like I get it, bruh.
That's it. And
Just
Shy had to
you'll
keep a
work.
day job the whole time. You good.
Still
You can
doing a
write
day
jokes
job.
all
Yeah,
day.
you can.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you figure that out however you want to. But I will say, as someone who teaches a class, word economy is going to be your friend. You're going to need, especially to the crowds that you're planning on performing to, you're going to need to get to that punchline faster. You're going to need to get
Amen.
to that punchline a lot faster. You're going to need to hit it harder, and all this other extra stuff. Don't no one care about that. We don't know
At
you. You
all.
wrote a song about it. How we don't know you. So yeah, you're gonna have to get to your punchlines a lot faster.
Shalewa just boiled down your half-hour set to 2 seconds. Okay,
Yeah,
you
you
got a
gotta.
tight two
Yeah,
seconds
that's a
right now.
lot. There's a lot of filler in there. We gotta tighten that up, bruh.
All
Come
that
on,
gotta
Clifford.
go.
You gotta tighten all that up. I gave you that for free. People pay for that information. You understand? I teach classes, but I gave you that one for free, Ti.
There you go.
Tighten it
Okay,
up.
it gotta go, B.
Gotta go.
Want to see a 29-minute edit on your next set? Okay, let's do this. In other news, animal rights activist attempts to glue herself to the court at the Clippers Timberwolves game. Sha, that's right. An
Oh,
animal rights
that's
activist
what that
tried.
was about. Okay. I saw this going up my timeline on Twitter and I was like, what's all these glue and horse jokes? But I didn't understand what was going on. I see
Yeah,
now.
so an animal rights activist tried to glue herself to the court during the second quarter of the playing game between the Timberwolves and the Clippers. It all went down on Thursday night at the Target Center in Minneapolis. The game was momentarily stopped due to the woman's stunt as she was escorted away by security. It appears that the person who glued themselves to the court is activist Alicia Santurio. I super glued down uh, to the basketball court to bring attention to the mass killings of chickens at the Glenn Taylor's factory farm using BSD, Santorio wrote on Twitter shortly after the incident. Glenn Taylor is a businessman and former member of the Minnesota Senate, who is the majority owner of the Timberwolves.
Oh, okay. So what? She glued herself to the. Okay. Did it work? I mean, was it hard for her to get down there?
I mean, I would
Did
have.
she wait until they wiped down the court first?
And she did it like mid game. Like I feel like I
Oh
understand
wow.
that's the idea to interrupt the game, but like glue don't dry that fast, right? Like they like just picked her up. Like it
Yeah,
didn't
no,
take
not
long at all.
no. I mean, and also it needs time to adhere to the floor to both
Yeah.
things. So if it's on your skin, it kind of just stays on your skin. I don't know many people who try to super glue themselves to things. Usually they're trying to close a cut. So the skin sticks to the skin. So really she just kind of fucked up her own hand or something. Um
Like every picture I saw of it, it looks like
mhm.
she's asking security, like, yo, is this working? Like she's asking them for help. Like even they
Oh
like took
boy.
pity on her. They're like, yeah, I don't think, we gonna let you sit here for a second just because of the effect you're trying to go for. We don't want to be
Mhm.
rude, but like this is stupid. You want to just sit
Oh,
down
she
for a
did.
bit,
Okay,
cool
there's
off.
a close up of it's her hand. She tried to use her whole she super glued her whole hand to the floor and left a handprint.
That's it.
She left a
That's the best you
handprint.
came up with. This is
Um
terrible.
also uh like
There's
how do
no
you
evil.
even this is so I'm still thinking of her in the store trying to pick the best kind of glue. Cuz here's the thing. If she if she is if she is doing this because of dead chickens or something like that, this means that she cares about the animals.
Right.
So that means she's going to have to really look at the ingredients of a glue. And I don't
Mm.
know what goes in glue, but I have a feeling what really makes it stick is probably a dead animal. I don't know. Don't come after me on that, but just you also think that in the back of your mind. You don't really know what glue is, but you think
Oh
that
yeah.
dead animals probably has something to do with it. Also,
I
so that means automatically she's not going to buy gorilla glue
mm.
because she's probably dumb enough to think that there's gorillas in it.
Bet you that would have
And
worked though.
yeah, I bet it would have. Or actually, there's a crafting glue that's called like E2600 or something like that. I forget, but it is My mother used it to make earrings, and I've seen other people who do crafts use it, or they do art use it. It is, just judging by scent alone, you would be stuck to the floor. It is truly one of the strongest adhesives I've ever encountered. That would have worked,
Mm.
but she probably would have had to gone into like a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby, and I bet she probably has a problem there too, because you can't just pick that up at like the drugstore. Anyway,
Yeah.
good luck. Maybe next time just throw blood.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean?
You know,
It's
you
simple.
don't have to. Yeah, my office, my day job, the office is across from a very popular like streetwear clothing and shoe store, and every
Okay.
once in a while, there are people who are just out there banging on stuff and trying to throw fake blood or whatever because maybe someone made something with fur or they think it's fur, it's actually faux fur, no one knows, or maybe there's leather, I'm not even sure, but about 2 or 3 times a year, they just go out there and bang on stuff and yell and they're angry. Do that. I know it's hard to do that during a basketball game. Are we doing the play? Was this like during the play-ins or something?
Yeah, this is the playing games.
Okay, so yeah, no one's really, now is not the time to really be making a lot of noise. No one, it's not going to count. And I applaud your ingenuity, but you're going to have to look up glues. Just throw blood, man. It's the classics. It's a classic for a reason.
That's it. It works. People tried it.
It works.
You know?
Yeah. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Not now.
Yo.
We don't have time now. They're trying to get to the playoffs. Just go ahead and throw the blood. Let's keep it moving across the board.
The thing is, like, I'm realizing the challenge is that, like, at the core, I might not agree with like the approach, but like at the core, these are good people, right? Like this is someone, or they're trying to do good,
Right.
and to do this well, you need to be evil. You know, like you
Oh, what,
need,
to disrupt
yeah,
something?
like exactly,
Okay.
like what they're trying to achieve requires like darkness, and they don't have that. You know, if you care this much about chickens, you don't got it in your heart to come up with a plan that's going to work. It's
You
just
know
not
what?
you.
That is true. That's
It's
true.
just,
Maybe.
yeah, like I'm not knocking it. Like I appreciate this effort, bringing it to my awareness sincerely. Like
Mhm.
I love that there's people like this in the world. But when like you deviate from shit that's worked before, you try to come up with that yourself. That's not how your mind is wired. You're not that kind of person. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just not who you are. Like you got to know your lane, know what you do well. They should have farmed this out. Like this should have been like a Fiverr. Like, yo, how do I best do this? You know,
So
put up,
they should have just gotten like a task rabbit to take care of this for
yeah,
them.
farm it out. You know,
Okay.
like know your department. We need to bring awareness to this. Who's the best actress that's available for $49.99 or whatever the price they could afford? You know. In other news, besides us
Oh,
learning how to use the computer, man
oh God.
nearly lost his penis after his unkept pubic hair cut off its circulation. That, normally I don't complain. I don't like it when the headline gives away the article, but I feel like the public needed a warning on this one. I'm glad they
Yeah,
like
no,
said,
I would not have wanted to wander into this article just, with an open heart and mind. I
hey,
definitely needed a jacket to get in here.
yeah, yeah. you can't give me a freaking like a indie movie trailer cut for this one. Okay, I need to know the
Oh
plot
my,
before I dive in.
oh
Here's a
geez.
cautionary tale on the importance of hygiene. According to a recent article published by the Urology Case Reports, a 57-year-old Australian man almost lost the tip of his penis after it was strangled by his unkept pubic hair. Doctors say the unidentified man went to his family doctor with extreme pain and swelling around his growing area because the physician neglected to pull the man's foreskin back. He didn't properly identify the issue. The patient was eventually given some steroids to relieve the symptoms. However, his condition worsened and he was then referred to Geelong University Hospital. It was there that doctors diagnosed the man with hair tourniquet syndrome. Yo, there's a name for this. This has happened
No, they
before.
made that up. They made that up on the spot. There is no way that something was called hair tourniquet syndrome. It's not a syndrome. This isn't something that's afflicting men all over. This is what happened to this dude. And it's probably happened to
Yo.
2 other dudes before. And they're like, it's like a hair tourniquet. But third guy doesn't make it a syndrome. Nah, this is a one
I,
and done situation.
I think it happened to 2 guys, this guy and a doctor there. And he was like, see, it's spreading. We got to call it a syndrome. Oh man, which occurs when hair tightly wraps around an appendage and cuts off its circulation. According to the reports, the man's pubic hair had matted together. Oh man, okay, either one sounds terrible, and formed a tight ring around his penis. Doctors described the patient as an unkept man who suffered from type 2 diabetes, hypertension, depression, and anxiety. Medical experts believe the condition was due to the man's poor hygiene as he neglected to properly clean underneath the hood. Whew. He just talking shit about you, B. The man was told he would have to undergo surgery to save the remaining tissue. He reportedly freaked out after learning about the risk and fled the hospital, only to return a couple days later. Doctors went on to reattach his urethra and gave him a permanent catheter so he could properly urinate. The physicians went against their advice and left the hospital after one day. However, he returned 2 weeks later after his penis flesh began eroding. This is getting scarier.
I don't want to keep scrolling. This is terrifying.
He was then transferred to the operating room for a second time. Doctors removed the bacteria, fitted him with another catheter, and performed the circumcision. Though the second surgery was a success, the doctors say the man's penis was left with a deformity. This is an interesting but fortunately very rare condition, said Dr. Rich Vinay, a urologist at the University Hospitals Birmingham NHS Foundation Trust. The reality is that this could have been avoided if the patient were to be undertaking suitable penile hygiene and washing beneath his foreskin regularly. Yo, we ain't sponsored, but like if there's ever been an ad for that like Manscaped shit, it's this. Like that's crazy.
I don't normally feel whatever pain it is that y'all seem to feel with your dicks. But that story honestly left my tummy a little sore. I'm just like, ew, oh, yuck. Oh, yuck, 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 yuck. Also, it's kind of, I don't know, are dudes, I feel like it's maybe not now. I think the bush is back now for young women, but it felt like it was definitely impressed on women to clean all that up, cut down, just salt the earth so nothing else can grow. But just burn it all. But it just doesn't seem like that's what they were saying to men. And certainly not many of the men that I encountered. And so has that changed? Have they started impressing more on dudes like, hey, maybe you guys could cut some of this off too? I mean,
the podcasts have, right? Like, I think mainly because of it being like one of the people that most advertise on podcasts, like Manscaped, that like that hair trimmer specifically for the balls has been huge in podcasting.
Right, but wasn't that like initially for noses and ears? Isn't that like the same machine?
I'm sure, but they pivoted. They realized there was a market. I will admit, I don't think I ever heard that discussed. Like I feel like I feel like growing up as a teenager and in college when we were first like really like getting comfortable having sex talk, both before having sex to early experiences with sex. Most of the men I discussed when they talked about pubic hair hygiene were discussing their preference on women, not their own. They're always like, oh, nah, she can't have any. But I'm like, yo, how about you? Like, like it never came up. So it like I don't ever remember talking about that with my boys. I feel like it never came up. I don't know what they do. I feel like, And I feel like I definitely did it significantly later than the women that were doing it that I was the same age as.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because that talk starts early.
Yeah,
Sadly, it starts early as soon as you buy a bathing suit. As soon as you
yeah,
buy a bathing suit after puberty, it's like, oh,
you got
I
to
guess
do
I'm supposed
this.
to do something with this.
Yeah, and
Why
you
not
guys have
take
like
this?
a group outing. Like I see like homegirls like, oh, we gonna go do the wax. Like that's not a thing for
Yeah,
dudes.
no, maybe it should be. Maybe that's how you do it. Include it in a sporting event or something.
There you go. Yo, we gonna go
I don't
axe
know.
throwing and waxing. You
Accent
know what
and
I mean?
waxing.
Axing and waxing, baby. Let's do it. That's the new shit right there, shot.
Something. You got to do
Oh yeah,
something. Just
axe
cut
and
cut some of that
wax.
stuff down. But also, if I may talk to my foreskinned brothers, my foreskinned brothers. Um, I again, I don't want to tell you what to do with your bodies or your bodies, but yeah, for sure, definitely get up in there and clean it.
Yeah, it's
Just
vital.
at least, because that seems to be what the bulk of this. That wasn't the bulk of this dude's problem. The bulk of this dude's problem is it seemed to be like a mental
Mm-hmm.
issue.
Yeah.
Um, but it's also wild to see what snaps you kind of out of your mental issue, and it looks like it's your dick every time. He was just like, "No, I can't handle it." And then a few days later, he's like, "No, maybe I can handle it. What else can you do?" "Nope, I can't do that." And then a week later, he's like, "I may okay, okay,
Yeah,
I'll let you."
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, okay.
Yeah, man. Nah, clean under the hood, B. Okay. Look, as a foreskin haver, okay? We can't be having this rep out here being unkempt, okay? I
Please
can't be the only
don't.
dude. And mainly because I'm married. Like, I'm not spreading the gospel of clean, hooded penises, okay? That's on y'all. You guys take that responsibility for me. Like, I'm just saying it's possible, but nobody knows but Gabby. That's it. She's the only one that sees it. That's on y'all. So you guys got
Yeah,
to keep
yeah,
the rep up, like
that's
you
true.
carrying the torch, you
And this
know?
guy is not helping.
He ain't helping the
Yikes.
brand. Whew, you know?
Boy,
Can't have that out
I
there, B. Come on.
I mean, I
Do your
hope he's
job, fellas.
okay, but yikes, that was a rough one to sit through. That was a rough article to sit through.
Yeah, that was real.
Ouch.
Uh-uh.
Yikes.
And other news, Soho
Mhm.
Karen avoids jail time, Sha, with a plea deal after her hate crime charge. That's right. Mia Ponsetto, the woman who attacked the 14-year-old black teen who she falsely accused of stealing her iPhone, has reached a plea deal in the incident and will not serve jail time. Dubbed the Soho Karen, Ponsetto will be required to live a law-abiding life, quote unquote, for 2 years, continuing therapy and following her probation terms. After 2 years, she can withdraw the hate crime plea and instead plead guilty to aggravated harassment in the second degree, which is not a felony. We are pleased that today's proceedings brought this unfortunate misunderstanding closer to a final resolution, said her lawyer, Paul D. Amelia. We are appreciative of the district attorney's thoughtful and empathetic approach to finding an acceptable conclusion. Back in December of 2020, Kevin Harold Jr.'s father, the jazz musician of the same name, wrote that Ponzetto scratched him before tackling and grabbing the teen. She later claimed during an interview that she wasn't racist because she was Puerto Rican. Okay.
Okay. I love how we're both like, okay. Every story that we've said today, we both are like, all right, okay, let's recenter.
Oh
What?
my God.
Yeah, I want this girl. Oh, here's the problem. Um, is that if I remember correctly, she was a real brat.
Yeah.
Not just in her interview with Gail,
Mm-mm.
although we did definitely see it then, but just like she I feel like she had it out with a cop when she was stopped for some sort of driving infraction or something. Her mom like yelled at like she her soul seemed to be dark and just very bratty. Um
Yep.
so I 2 years to live a law abiding life for 2 years is Like, what? Okay, so don't break any laws, but she could still be a brat. She could still be a terrible person. And I guess all you can do is just fix them so that they don't do the crime.
Right.
But I don't. How do we get her to not be a brat anymore? I don't want any. I don't want any brats on the planet. I'm
At
very.
all.
The two things, two personality types that drive me insane: when you're smug and when you're a brat. And like I don't know if what does it mean to live a law abiding life? Like I know because I
Yeah.
do it. But like, what does that mean to someone who has the presence of mind to say it can't be racist because I'm Puerto Rican? What, like, how do you? I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
this. I mean, I don't even. I guess good for her, but also like, what is that as a punishment?
Yeah. That's what kind of irked me. Like, she's already done stupid shit. Like, she was like you mentioned, she had an issue with a cop over her driving. She actually had two DUIs. One of them,
Mm,
the video surfaced of the interaction, which is what you're referring to.
right,
Because of those two DUIs, she was already on probation before.
right.
And those two incidences took place the same year as this incident earlier. So like she disrespected police officers twice, got put on
Hmm.
probation, ideally should have been living a law abiding life
Right.
because of that,
Yes,
you know?
she already was supposed to.
Yeah. And then she out here tackling kids in hotels. That's not law abiding. So she already
Mm-mm.
shown she don't know what that means or she's not capable of doing it. One of the two, either or, shouldn't get like a re-up on that option.
Yeah.
Like I that's kind of my thing. Like I'm okay with people getting probation, but like she already used that. Now that the punishment should be more in tune with what she's done now that she's been given the second chance and didn't merit it. You know what I mean? I
Right.
I I was kind of thrown off by that. Like, yo, like this is a clear case of someone that hasn't learned from her past mistakes. At least not yet. I'm not saying she's not capable of it. I hope she grows as a
Right.
person.
Yeah. Apparently, she's in therapy, so that ought to do something. I guess.
Fingers
I
crossed.
think. Yeah. I hope. Although sometimes it feels like just saying I'm in therapy, people think that should do it. Maybe I'll just say I'm in therapy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but you're still acting the same. So what? What's it doing? Like, what's your homework? What
Seriously.
do you do? So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, just I think the whole thing is just like, all right, sure, par for the course. But I forgot that she was on probation before for the other things, and that whole live a law abiding life just feels like something that someone would say on like a TV show, but not Law and Order. They know better than to give somebody a law abiding life as a, you know, just it feels real soft and fuzzy.
Yeah. That's what we all
Yeah,
should be doing before. That's not like
yeah. That's not.
that's not a
Yeah.
new an extra requirement. You know what I mean? Like that's the status quo. We should all be
Hmm.
doing that anyway. That shouldn't be like you shouldn't have to be notified of that.
Right.
Like, hey, yo, I
Exactly.
don't know if you knew, but you're supposed to be following the law. Like these
Yeah.
rules,
It shouldn't.
everybody's been following them.
It shouldn't have to be called out as like, now make sure you do this so that so I don't know. That's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Clearly, she's
I,
not. I mean, all
I
right.
don't know.
Well,
I hope
I
your
hope she makes
therapist
it.
explains to you how racism works
Right.
and that, being Puerto Rican got nothing to do with it.
Right.
That yeah, like I don't know, lady, but you got a lot of learning to do.
I don't know, lady.
You gotta give like this article sometimes where like, oh god, I don't know what to put out
Yeah.
there with you, but like, so you
Yeah.
need help, so Karen, this is wild, B.
Oh God.
I New York Post be out here. Okay, this is the headline. I suffered a scary sexually transmitted allergic reaction to nuts. That's right. And their
Who's
first line
nuts?
of the article,
I'm
all
sorry.
nuts.
These nuts? Which
Yeah,
nuts?
apparently.
Oh boy.
Pharmacy staff couldn't keep it together after an OnlyFans star needed treatment for an extreme allergic reaction to peanuts that was induced by her partner's ejaculation. The adult video heartthrob known as Australia's sultry dressing and peanut allergic, Lucy Banks, spoke out on the rare phenomenon that caused her intimacy to become ire and left her desperately wadding into the drugstore for help. I had never heard of food allergens transmitting and negatively affecting partners through ejaculation before. Um, Despite the severity of Banks' phallic caused anaphylaxis, the pharmaceutical
Oh
staff was in
Lord.
hysterics upon the improbable diagnosis of her anguish. The pharmacy worker called over a few colleagues and tried to ask for their opinions and help, but she couldn't stop laughing, Banks said. Banks, who makes approximately $60,000 a month, is now preaching a PSA to warn others about the dangers of sexually transmitted food allergies, especially from a peanut loaded penis. If you have a severe anaphylactic reaction to certain foods, then I would take special precautions with your partner to make sure they haven't eaten anything that could trigger a negative and possibly serious response, Banks said, adding that those with minor or moderate allergies most likely won't notice anything. She
Okay, I
also,
gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. Because we got two stories here. We've got two stories.
okay.
And the main thing I want to say is that the New York Post ain't shit. Um, for first and foremost, New York Post ain't shit. So we've got that this woman, who I guess is also on OnlyFans, but she did not um get this allergic reaction from something uh that she did on her OnlyFans. So honestly, has nothing to do with it, I guess, except that she may be somewhat known, but who knows? Um so not really a reason, like they jammed so many things into this opening like paragraph that it's anyway, they ain't shit. So this woman hooked up with a guy who I'm assuming ate a lot of nuts and some of that came out in his semen and she's allergic to peanuts and it caused an allergic reaction.
Mhm.
That alone, we should just sit in that for a minute, right? That's that's a lot. That's a lot. And I mean, I think that's something that we need to consider. Um never would have thought about that, but that is, I guess, a thing. Uh, so yes, that's an issue. That
Oh man.
we have to think of your what triggers your. So I mean, what this means is, for me, basically, I can't get with any partner who is either made of pollen or has eaten a
Okay.
lot of pollen, so I can't do that. Or who eats a lot of salmon. Um,
Okay.
but so, but that's wild, and medically, I didn't know that that was possible. So let's all just remember that that is possible as we are sending our young children who have been allergic to peanuts for the past 20 years out into the general populace. If they're going to be out here fucking, they need to know the true dangers.
Amen.
Um,
Okay.
that shit might hit them before herpes does,
Real talk.
but herpes will.
Have
It's still
sex,
out
bring an
there all the time.
EpiPen. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So that is a lot to take in already. I think it's fair to say that's a lot to take in. But on top of that, the other story, which is really where I'm like, fuck the New York Post, the pharmacy staff was laughing at her as she went to get her medicine.
Hmm.
And I don't know if she was talking when she talked about this, if she was talking about the fact that this allergic reaction could happen, or if she was saying something because she was mad that the pharmacy staff laughed at her as she tried to get her medicine from them. Because that's bullshit. If you work at a pharmacy
Yeah, they don't do that.
That means that you know they can, because people are not great. Um, if you work at a pharmacy, you should understand that you are working with medicines to help human bodies, maybe
Okay.
animal bodies, mostly human bodies. And then I feel like your mindset about the human body should be, we are movable sacks of chemicals.
Okay.
And sometimes shit don't go right.
Right.
And we have, as a pharmacist, I'm able to give you something to make your sack of chemicals right itself. And,
Okay.
maybe one sack of chemicals rubbed up another sack and it just didn't work. There was an allergic reaction. You should be able to, in the way that I was had to learn and maintain a straight face while dealing with someone at the porn store with what they want and need.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that times 1,000 at a pharmacy.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm in pain. I got, I don't know, peanut swells of the pussy or whatever is happening. I got hives. I got whatever the fuck is happening. I'm in pain though. And you're standing between me and what could possibly help me. And you got the nerve to laugh? Bitch, I wish a motherfucker would.
I love the idea
So
that you have like a sex shop Hippocratic oath, but they don't have that at the pharmacy. I think that's
yeah,
beautiful.
you absolutely do. You absolutely do. It's a service. So I just feel like that is another part of the story, because I mean, I guess the New York Post got this from the Daily Mail, and I'm sure the Daily Mail got it from some little, you know, chatty pharmacy people who just I don't know. It's just, anywho. So that upset me on a customer service level. That's bullshit.
Get your
you
shit together,
know
okay?
Yeah.
Random
So that's
pharmacy in the
two
UK.
those are two stories that's happening. And
Yeah,
I think the New
I
York
wanted
Post
this.
ain't shit because they put it together in such a confusing way. That's just like, I don't know how to feel about it, but here's how you should feel. Wow, I didn't know that about peanuts. And man, those people working at the pharmacist were terrible. And those are the ways I think you're supposed to feel.
Amen. So I felt similar to you. I wanted to share this article because I wanted to shout out one person, okay? New York
Hmm.
Times, right? New York Post writer Alex Mitchell, okay? That poor person, okay? Whoever you are out there, I commend you trying to report the news, because I can only, this is how I picture this went. He went to the editor. He was like, "Hey, I want to write this article. Heard this crazy thing happened to this young lady. She had an allergic reaction to her partner's ejaculate because the partner ate peanuts. She's allergic to peanuts." And the editor was like, "That's not enough to put it in the newspaper." And then he was like, "I'll see if I find something else." Comes back. Turns out that the pharmacy where she went to get help, they laughed in her face about it. You know, they humiliated her as a customer. And still not interesting enough. I need more of a spin. Okay. Turns out she's a highly successful OnlyFans model who went through this situation. All right, fine. Put it in like the back of the newspaper. Okay. We'll make that shit work. There's only 3 interesting things about this crazy article. Like, yo, Alex, I promise you one day you're going to write for a respectable paper.
I
Okay.
think they assigned it to him and they were like, make this woman seem as crazy as possible. I think, because that's what I think about the New York Post. Because there was no need to even mention OnlyFans shit unless you really
Yeah.
had to. But they, in the photographs that accompany this story, are pictures of her posing, I guess, from her OnlyFans or whatever. And I feel like this whole article is to take her down a peg. How dare this woman make money off of her looks? How do we make her feel stupid? We'll talk about the fact that her whole shit, caught on fire because of some peanuts. And we'll also throw in the pharmacist laughing at her. That ought
See,
to make her feel stupid. And then they were like, Alex, you got to write this shit. Get ready to write a bunch of alliteration. And he's like, oh, man, I can't believe I went to school for this. I think that's
you
what
know,
happened. Oh, yeah. I don't think
that
Alex
poor
wanted
dude.
to write. I don't think he wanted to write out the phallic cause anaphylaxis, although that is beautiful to say, to
Yeah.
feel in your mouth, or the the peanut loaded penis. He had to type out, especially from a peanut loaded penis.
That
Yeah, they
poor
don't pay
dude.
you enough, Alex.
At all.
They
At all. That
they
dude probably
really
went to
don't.
Princeton, dreaming, being a writer. And this is what he got to deal with. This poor dude.
Oh man.
I feel for you, bro. Sincerely. This isn't. And yo, real talk, like, I'm
Hmm.
actually seeing it from your way more because, like, when I look at the pictures, I actually don't even
Yeah.
get a OnlyFan vibe. I just think, oh, this is just a
Right.
girl. Like, they're just
Yeah.
nice pictures of like a girl in the
She's
summer.
she's fully dressed. She has on, like cute bra top and maybe some leggings or something. It's
Yeah.
definitely no worse than anything that I've seen anywhere else, but it and also because I think it came from the Daily Mail, which is a British paper, and this is the kind of shit they like to do is knock people down a peg.
Mm.
Um that the vibe of it and the pictures, those are the kind of pictures I've seen with some kind of article where it's like some floozy wanted to, oh, this bird wanted to do this. She tried to dream and she tried to use her titties to get to a better place and we'll show her. And I'm like, oh, you guys are the worst.
Seriously.
Let the woman use her titties to get to a better place. And if you're going to hook up with someone, talk about peanuts first. Ask if they have any allergic reactions to anything.
There you go. We learned
Yeah.
something, okay?
Yeah.
Another
Also,
dude.
why do you keep bringing us like genital covered news today? Why
You
is
know
it
what,
all
Sha? It's not
uh-oh.
intentional, okay? But like I feel like when I found the penis almost getting tip like cut off with the tip, I think
Uh-huh.
Google was like, "Oh, this guy's interested in this," and it sent me this one.
So here's some more stuff.
Here's some more of this, and I can't say no once I read it. I was like, "All right, let's
Uh,
go on." But
oh
yeah,
my
trust me,
gosh.
this was
Yeah.
the peak of the penis news. There was more penis articles. I was like, "Nah, this is too much penis article." I gotta only show the best of the best, the tip, if you will, of what's out there.
Sure, the decaying tip.
um, in other news, Sherry Papini agrees to plead guilty over California kidnapping hoax. California woman who was arrested last month on charges including making false statements to federal law enforcement in connection with the kidnapping hoax has signed the plea deal. Sherry Papini, 39, has agreed to plead guilty to making materially false statements to the FBI and committing mail fraud based on her being kidnapped as a victim. U.S. Attorney Philip A. Talbert said on Tuesday in a U.S. District Court. Criminal information also filed on Tuesday. Papini was charged with a total of 34 counts of mail fraud and one count of making false statements. Under the terms of the deal, she will plead guilty to one count each of mail fraud and making false statements. I am deeply ashamed of myself for my behavior and so very sorry for the pain I've caused my family, my friends, all the good people who needlessly suffered because of my story, and those who worked so hard to try to help me. I will work the rest of my life to make amends for what I have done.
Why'd she do it? Oh, I see. Here it is. Um oh, okay. So she said she was abducted. She initially told law enforcement that she had been, quote, abducted and held by two Hispanic women at gunpoint. As they kept going, it was soon determined that she had lied and instead been staying with an ex boyfriend. She had also given
Mm-hmm.
herself injuries in an effort to back up the fake story of having been kidnapped. Oh boy. This always, this kind of shit, I don't know why, it always just really bothers me to
You
make up a
know,
boogeyman. Because
seriously,
we all know where they're gonna what's gonna happen when you make up a boogeyman. At a certain, you're just like, well, what's the scariest thing? But I could be real vague about it, and then no one will know. Okay, we'll say two Hispanic women held me at gunpoint. Was there a drawing of how the women were supposed to be? How they
oh,
were
that's
supposed
a
to
good.
look?
I don't know. I guess
Only because I remember. oh gosh, was her name Susan Smith, the woman who said that someone had her kidnapped her kids, or they carjacked her and they took her kids maybe, but it turns out she made that up, but she made up like who was supposed to because she killed her kids. Oh god.
Mm,
Do you remember this story?
I do
In
not, but that
South
sounds
Carolina,
wild.
she was convicted of murdering her two sons, a 3-year-old and a 14-month-old, by drowning them in a lake, and it gained international attention because she made up a story that a black man had kidnapped her sons during a carjacking, and there was a draw that they made like a drawing based on her description of the black man, and it was okay. Do you know how back in the day there was a news story in Alabama about on St. Patrick's Day? They talk about every St. Patrick's Day about a leprechaun, how people think they saw a leprechaun, and
Okay.
they gave a drawing of the leprechaun, and it's just like a kid's drawing of a face with a little top hat on it.
Yeah.
That is what the drawing of this black man who was supposed to have kidnapped her kids looked like. It was because first off, Susan Smith said she only saw the side of the guy's face. So it's like, well, then how are you going to make up just this wild drawing based on her imagination? And it turned out that she drowned them herself. So that was maybe the first time that I had heard that kind of story, and that happened back in '94. And yeah, so when I hear about someone who like makes up a story of like, and they're like, "Oh, it turns out I was kidnapped," and these and I'm like, "See, I never want to hear what comes after who kidnapped you, because
Mm-hmm.
it's never going to be good.
At all. We can
Yeah,
tell you
it's never
BS and
going to
B.
be good."
Yeah,
Mhm.
this reminds me of when like all those like all the white folks was claiming they was seeing the chupacabra, and it's like slowly morphed to like looking like an alien, and it was just like a lizard in like Latin America. It just got real imaginative. It was like, oh yeah, I was on vacation in DR and I saw it. You know, it had 6 arms or some shit, and it was like 7 feet tall. I'm like, nah, B, like it's a fictitious thing, but
Right.
why y'all
Right.
the only ones
Yeah.
seeing it, and why is it always at resorts? You know, Chupacabras living good. Man having unlimited mimosas and shit, chilling with y'all at the
Oh my
beach.
gosh.
I can't
Yeah.
with y'all, B.
Yeah,
I'm
so
glad.
I
I'm
guess
glad
next
she got
time.
caught. I despise this chick. And like she raised 50 racks too. That's the other thing. Like she had that
Yeah, that's the
GoFundMe.
other thing.
Like I don't even know
Ugh.
does that go back. I don't know what happens with that. But
Ooh,
yo,
I don't know.
yeah, because
Hmm.
she got the money. Like she got 50 G's.
I
You
mean,
know,
did she
like
pay her lawyer for it?
yeah, like I don't know how that works because like that's not like is there like a refund policy on Go? I thought like that was just like
I
it's
I
fine.
I'm not sure. I know Kickstarter, if you don't make the goal, you don't get the money.
Right, that's what I'm
But I
saying. Like
think
she got out, she gets
yeah.
the money, right? Like they found her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but I don't know. GoFundMe has to be. I feel like they've had to clean up a few things lately because they're not sure what to do, since it has now become, for all intents and purposes, an insurance plan. So an insurance plan and a place for grifters. So I think they now are just. I mean, it's been a rough few years where they're just like, all right, guys, this isn't really what we set this up for, but I guess this is how you're using it. So if you could please not lie, like I feel like they're just like the ineffectual teacher in the cafeteria, like, stop throwing food while being hit with slices of pizza. Like, it's too late, baby. The food fight's already started.
That's it, B.
So
And mashed potatoes
yeah.
is in the air. Okay.
And there, hey guys, maybe don't. Too late, GoFundMe.
Oh man. Finally, Delta says hiking fares can help It turned a profit as fuel costs surge. That's right. Travel is booming, and Delta Airlines boosted ticket prices. That helped the company weather the higher fuel costs in the first quarter, and Delta believes it can turn a profit in the second quarter. The company reported an adjusted net loss of $784 million in the first quarter, which was about $50 million less than Wall Street analysts had expected. Its revenue of $9.3 billion came in about $400 million higher than forecast. The company said it was profitable in March. Demand for travel is so strong right now that the CEO, Ed Bastian, told CNBC that March was Delta's best month ever for bookings, both for flights in March itself and for upcoming travel. Demand is phenomenal, he said on CNBC. This is continuing in April. Consumers are ready to go.
This actually makes me a little sick. I think
This has not been your episode, Sha.
Yeah, no, everything has made me so angry. But to hear companies just be like, yo, we're having record years, knowing that we're not out of COVID. People are still struggling in a big way. COVID ain't done with us. We might
At all.
be done with COVID, but COVID ain't done with us. So a lot of people are unable to rebound from this. And to have the guy in charge of Delta be like, hey, people ready to go, so why don't we just hike up the prices on them?
Just stunting on people.
It
and
just
hyped
makes
about it too.
Hyped. Like,
yo, we killing
hey,
this shit,
everybody.
Yeah.
Like the fucking, yo, oh my God.
Like if CEOs were allowed to shimmy, he would be doing it right now.
Yeah, he's absolutely just like on the fucking, just on stage, just like, hey, ain't no one fucking with us. And it's like, yeah. But also you're doing that, and that's just like making it harder for people who actually might need to travel somewhere. Maybe not just to be flashy, but to actually get somewhere to do so, because their means are not. It's basically, there was already a pretty wide divide between, I don't want to say the haves and the have-nots, but I guess here in America we call it the middle class, and and I don't know, the 1% and the rest of us, but yo, it's, that divide is just getting wider and wider, and I don't know if like hiking up the rate on flights is going to help. Southwest has been like sending out all of these emails of just like, hey, we got $59 flights, come check us out. We Southwest, how we do. We used to being inexpensive. And then you go on there and they're like, did we say 59? Those are gone. All flights now start at 220. And I was like, y'all are Southwest, you don't even give us a seat. We got to get in the ring. We got to box somebody to get to a seat. So I'm done with that. So it's like, people who haven't seen their family in a long time because of COVID may not be able to travel to see their family because now they can't afford the flight to get there. And then in some places, they can't even afford where they live. Like, everything's going up, but no one's paying anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
I got frustrated with this because, like, I got frustrated with this as, like, a person that's run a business. And, like, I've been, like, an independent business owner. My dad has always been entrepreneurial. And, like, as the people, I get your side of it. I was mad as a person trying to, like, move forward in this society. But, like, as a business owner, this extra pissed me off. Because, like, publicly traded companies that, like, know they can't fail, they say the most, like, gangster shit about money that isn't real. And they don't realize how, like, like, think about this sentence. Like, it blew my mind. Like, the company reported an adjusted net loss of $784 million in the first quarter, which was $50 million less than they were expected to lose. And that's after a revenue of $9.3 billion, which was 400 million higher. So they brought in more money than expected. They lost less money than expected and still almost lost $1 billion. And this dude is in the news saying, demand is phenomenal. We killing it. We only lost $1 billion. You know how wild that is? Like, as a person
that's
that like,
insane.
like I watched my dad open up a laundromat and like grind to like turn a profit. You know, I know people that own bodegas like trying their best. We're comics. We're independent businesses, technically. We're out here like doing everything for what we do. And this dude is proud of failing at this level because it's less than the failing they expected him to fail at. And he knows he's in a business that they can't shut down. We need the planes. Like, this is what it is. He knows that, like, yo, if it get real ugly, they're going to bail him out. So he could be out here saying, yo, we only lost $750 million. First quarter, not even all year, my G. He lost $784 million in the first quarter. And he hype. He killing it. That is wild. There was like, yo, we might turn a profit next month. He might turn a profit, shy April. If this continues.
Yeah. If this continues,
low key,
we
might have a winning
turn
month.
A profit.
Not for the year, for the month. But let's not get crazy.
Wild. And he's still out here dancing about it.
Yo, it just like, oh man, I was so tight just reading that. Like, yo, this dude's really out here stunting on people about losing a fortune. $784 million loss first quarter. And he like, yeah, B, watch me stunt, B. Peep my LinkedIn page. Nobody do it like me. Yo, this is crazy, B.
It's wild. It's wild. I mean, maybe we are the ones looking at money wrong.
I guess so. The dude, yo, like, I mean, he lost Dr. Dre.
Right.
The whole first quarter, he like, yo, Puff Daddy, gone.
Right.
Everything that dude made his whole life, he lost it. 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's still out here in a shiny suit.
Yo.
Dancing.
My man.
Yeah.
Yo. Ciroc, Revolt, Life After Death. all of that shit.
All of that. And he's like, maybe we'll do it next month.
We'll do it again.
Who knows?
Yo, run it back. Run it back.
Yeah. Let's try it again.
This is crazy. This is the best they got out there running this shit.
Yeah. And that's from the most popular airline?
Yeah.
I think in at least America.
Yo. And they like, if you read the article, like they're talking about like, you know, the gas hike and how like it's been affecting people. At the bottom, they actually like flex it, like, you know, Delta actually has a huge advantage because they own their own oil refinery. So this is like peak of this business. Like other airlines, they don't even got that edge. They paying more for gas.
Wow.
It's bananas.
Man. Yeah.
We doing this wrong, Sha.
Well, apparently we are.
We gotta get into a
cookies?
business.
Is that why it's going? Is it the cookies? Because you can buy those Biscoff cookies in the store now.
Seriously.
I mean, maybe not. But,
I don't know, B. $784 million loss, and you could stun on them. That's right. If you would like for Gastor and Shalewa to get into a less than profitable business, we're already in one. Only difference is we don't get kudos for it.
Yeah, we don't own our own gas pump. Imagine that. Imagine how great our comedy would be if we also owned our own gas station.
That's right. Help us start our own oil refinery, okay? War Report, oil refinery, okay? Then we could be out here stunting on losing $750 million. You know? We gonna change the world, baby. All you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show if you believe, you know? If you are an Apple or Spotify listener, genuinely appreciate all of your ratings. They sincerely help. 4 stars. You ain't gonna buy oil from us. Why you a hater, B? Okay? You know what? You can't fly on our airlines anyway. Okay? You don't get to use none of our oils. 5 stars, you get all the oil you want at the discounted price of exactly 1 cent less than whatever Delta's selling it for. We're trying to run a business here.
Let me just take a moment right now and say we apologize to your genitals for the stories that we've had today.
Word up, you know. A lot of penis stories. We had the losing the penis.
A lot of odd things happening to your genitals, and we're sorry to make you think about that, but we also need you to know that it's possible, that it's out here.
We're here to inform, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like that's all we could do, you know. We're trying to like spread the word. PSA, like that lady said, she's trying to let people know we're helping her, you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you have any articles you'd like us to cover, penis related or not, you know, DM us directly. Admittedly, if it's penis related, DM me first. Shaz have a couple,
send it to Gastor because I don't want to have to throw my phone across the room numerous times.
Sincerely, you know, and admittedly, I might not share it on the podcast, but I will be appreciative as a penis haver. You know, I like to be informed what's happening. You know,
that's true. That's true.
Fair.
I don't need to know what's going on with those things.
That's it. You know, I take care of mine. That's all. You know, if you find some new news that I don't know about, yeah, I appreciate that link. Thank you. You know, DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo, at Gastor Almonte. With all that said, I am the I wouldn't say perfectly, but relatively well kept pubic hair having Gastor Almonte. It's not perfect, but like 8 out of 10.
I'm just Shalewa. I'm not gonna let him add any sort of adjective to what I am. Just Shalewa.
With the pubic hair standard having Shalewa Sharpe, okay? Fix your shit if you're gonna talk to her.
I mean, that's in general.
There you go. Look at that. See?
I mean, by the time we get the pubic hair, I'm hoping that you've also fixed your emotional core. But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there.
It's one of those things that she expects, but she shouldn't have to list. Okay? It should just be known. But just in case we putting it out there, spreading the word, consider this another PSA. Okay? This has been a War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.